So, I'm 35 today, but 6 years ago, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I like to call myself a late bloomer, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's awesome. You can achieve something great at the age of 15 or at the age of 50. It doesn't matter. All that matters is if you believe in yourself. Hi, unicorns! Welcome to the Tassel Fairy channel. My name is Amina. I am the Tassel Fairy, and I am back because today is my birthday. I am turning 35 today. Yay! And I'm really happy and excited to have another year of life and just to be alive, I'm thinking back to 16-year-old Amina. I was just so full of hope and so full of excitement about my future. I knew early on that I wanted to do something great with my life and that I wanted to do something that would make my family proud. And that was really what I was focused on as a teenager. And so I set all these goals for myself. I wanted to get into a really great school. I wanted to go to Harvard or Stanford. I had an aunt who went to Harvard and she was really a mentor for me. And so I set a lot of goals and life happened. Things didn't go according to plan. This is really when my eating disorder really started to get out of control and when the other mental illness really started to kind of take over. It kind of all equaled me ending up dropping out of high school. A lot of people don't know this about me. I'm not ashamed of it. I used to be very ashamed of this, but now it's kind of something that I'm proud of, just like any other part of my story. And now I'm not saying that you should drop out of school. And I'm not saying that it was the best choice I ever made in my life, but I'm saying it's something that happened because I couldn't cope with what was going on in my life. And I am who I am because of it now. And I wouldn't change that. So anyway, that happened, and all of those dreams that I had for myself, like graduating early and all of that stuff, kind of flew out the window because, things just didn't go according to plan. And that was very difficult for me. I'm someone who when I set a goal and when I set a plan, I want things to be exactly how I imagine them to be. And life doesn't really work out like that often. I had all this pressure from my family and on myself mostly. And I think that's when I started this whole cycle of doing things to please other people and doing things so that people would think I was good enough. And I wasn't really concerned with how it made me feel and what I wanted out of my own life. So, I drop out of school and, I try to rally, I get my GED, and by the time I'm 17, I'm listen, it doesn't matter what happens, as long as you can go to community college, you can transfer to a really great school still, and you can get a degree, and no one will ever remember that this happened to you. In fact, it'll just make your story even better. As you can probably guess, college didn't really work out that well for me because, I just wasn't in the right space in my life. I just kind of spiraled. I just kept finding myself in that same situation, looking around, watching all of my peers pass me by, graduating from college, getting great careers, moving on with their life. All the things that I wanted to do. It was really devastating for me to watch other people achieve all of the goals that I had set for myself, but I kept falling short. And so I just kept sinking lower and lower. But I'm a fighter. So every single time I had some kind of crisis or I quit a job, I would get back up and I'd get a better job. I would keep thinking to myself in the back of my head, you got to show them. You have to prove to everyone that you're worthy. You have to prove to everyone that you're good enough. And I just had this voice that I would hear over and over. I couldn't even hear myself. I could just hear only this thought of you have to keep going because you have to make other people proud. And that got me nowhere, to be totally honest. The only place that got me was in jobs that I absolutely hated. And I just kept making all of these choices because I wanted to make my family proud. And so fast forward to I'm in my mid-20s. I'm married, to my husband now, Salvatore. We've been married for a very long time. And I never got treatment and I never got help. And I never really shared with anyone. I was living this double life because I never told anyone all the things that I was going through. And so eventually it all got the best of me, and I tried to end my own life. But I was really fortunate that that didn't really work out. That was the one time that something not working out ended up being the best possible thing that could have happened to me. So shortly after that, I finally got the help that I needed. Thanks to my husband and my brother. They were really instrumental in like being there for me and making sure that I got better. And so I went to treatment for bulimia, and I also got help with my OCD and depression and anxiety. And it was like I had a clean start. Now, having a clean start and starting from scratch at like 28 or however, I think I was like 28 or 29, is a really difficult thing to do, let me tell you, especially when all of your friends and everyone you know is like established and they have their life together and things are going well for them. And I'm just here, I have no job, no money. My husband was embarking on a journey to get his PhD in psychology, and we moved to Oklahoma from our home of Los Angeles. And so I was like in the middle of nowhere, completely isolated. And I was just like, what? What am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do with myself, you know? And so I did, for the first time in my entire life, the thing I recommend everyone do. I asked myself what I wanted and what would make me happy. And I think that's when all the magic started to happen. And so we didn't really have any money. I had like a couple of like leftover tissue papers from a gift or something, and I just wanted to use them to create something that would make me feel good about our space. We kind of lived in this like drab little apartment in the middle of Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere. So I started crafting, I started making tassel garlands and things to hang up in our space. And then when people saw them, like they loved them, they thought that I bought them. And so that was an inspiration for me, because just to see the excitement, you know, that people had over something that I created and how good it made me feel to just make something from nothing. I knew that I had something there, and I knew that I wanted to share that with the world, and that maybe this is what I could be doing with my life. So I took a leap and I, put some of my stuff online, and it kind of sold right away, and it just took off. And just like that, I was in the middle of starting a business. And so I really didn't know what I was doing. I had no experience in that kind of thing. But all I knew is that when I woke up every single morning, I was excited about the work that I was doing. I knew that I wanted to do the job that I did, which was very different from how it had been my entire life. I've had maybe like 30 jobs or something ridiculous throughout my 20s and some of my teens. And I swear, almost every single day I would wake up with this dread, God, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go in. I don't want to do this. This is not what I want to be doing today. And when I didn't feel that feeling with Studio Moonchi, I knew I had something magical. And it just came back to me asking myself, does this make you happy? And I just made a promise with myself, if ever that answer was no, I wouldn't do it. I just thought I was gonna be making tassel garlands forever, and maybe just have a tassel factory and do party decor, and that was all I was ever gonna do. And then I discovered social media, and I found all of you. And I think more importantly, I continued to find more of myself. So here I am 35 years old, and I am doing things in my life that I never dreamed could be possible. I have been on the cover of magazines. I have designed things that have had an impact on so many people. My tassel garlands have been sold all over the world in major retailers. And most importantly, I wake up every single day and I love what I do. And listen, I don't want to give you the illusion that everything's perfect. I still have problems, I still have issues, I still set goals, and sometimes I don't meet them. But the thing that I have now that I never had before is I like myself I like what I do, and I know why I'm doing it. And I still have so much more that I want to accomplish. But the point that I want to make here today is it doesn't matter how old you are. And I couldn't stress that enough. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what has happened to you in your life. I tried to kill myself, and I came back from that. I suffered most of my life with mental illness in silence, and I came back from that. People have judged me. I have had family issues. I have had so many things that have happened to me in my life, and mistakes that I've made. Oh my God, I've made so many mistakes. But none of that matters as long as you get back up. That is all that matters. And so I never want anyone to think that because they're, too young or too old, based off of what society says, that they can achieve their dreams, because you can do whatever you want. You can achieve something great at the age of 15 or at the age of 50. It doesn't matter. All that matters is if you believe in yourself. And I believe in myself. It's not perfect. I have to work at it every single day. But I just want to share this message, and I want to spread it, and I want to shout it from the freaking rooftops, because we are often taught that if you've waited X amount of time to do something, you've missed your boat. And I just don't believe in that. The greatest gift that I can receive on my birthday is if I inspire at least one of you to stop looking at what your friends are doing, stop looking at what your parents want you to do, or what your spouse or what anyone tells you to do, and think about what you want to do and what makes you happy, and pursue that. And it doesn't matter when you do it. And it doesn't matter how many times you fall, as long as you get back up. So never stop getting back up. That's the most important thing. And I'm here, I'm proof of that. I'm proof if you just keep getting back up, everything will work out. It won't be perfect, but it'll be worth it.